Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Outside, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to take a look at Bud's almost all Rolex collection, and we're going to bracket it on the beginning and the end with something that's not a Rolex. So let's get started and take a look at this collection. You Rolex fans, boy, I think you're gonna like it. First off, we have the Breitling and the Tudor. Those are two of the non-Rolex watches, so they go at the beginning. There's another one at the end too. The Breitling is a premier Bentley chronograph, but it's also it's a chronograph, but it's a chronometer as well. And it's got the BO1 movement in it, so it's an okay Breitling, I'll put it that way. The Tudor Black Bay GMT. This is a new one that Bud just added to his collection. And the thing about it is that the Black Bay is one of those watches that they make all of these little improvements, and every time they put it into the Grand Prix, it wins something. And I think that this is a heck of a neat watch for a GMT or Tudor. Very affordable watch, and one with the in-house movement that they co-developed with Breitling. So there you have two of them together. Let's take a look at the Rolexes that Bud has. First of all, you got this gold date just with great big old cyclop window. Next to it is a Daytona with a white dial and we'll say black bezeled subdials. They're not really that, but this is a cool watch. I really like this one a lot. The Daytona. Okay, this third group, you have another date just. This one's got diamond indexes on it. And next to it is a Sky Dweller. Sky Dweller is one of my favorite Rolexes. Uh, it's for lots of reasons. Okay, it's got a GMT to it and some other features that I think would be handy for a pilot's watch. Moving right along, a couple other ones. A Green Day date. I like that dial on that with the day of the week up at the top, and then the one I can see, the big Cyclop window has the date. And next to it is another one I really like, the Rolex Milgauss. I know it sounds weird, but one of the things I like the most about it is the second hand is a lightning bolt. I used to be an old San Diego Charger fan. They were the bolts. And I just like this watch a lot. And the Milgauss is, of course, as you know, is 1,000 Gauss, which isn't what it used to be, but it's still nice, anti-magnetic works in there. Now these next two watches, a couple other ones I like. In particular, I like the Air King. I don't know why. I like it. I just like the looks of it. It's not the kind of thing that I think would be the most useful thing for a pilot's watch, maybe for VFR flying, but it's just a nice watch. And I'm not a big fan of black dials because it's hard for me to see. Sometimes they'll have something very artistic and a little too subtle for me. Like it's hard to see the 9 and the 3 for me, but the white against the black stick out nicely. And also those big dots that are on a lot of Rolex watches like this Sea Dweller. That's another part of the collection. All right, moving right along. This next one I just really liked a lot. It's a GMT Master 2. And it has this Michael, I think that's what they call a meteorite dial on it with the Pepsi bezel or the Coke bezel. And it's just a cool looking watch. It's one of those watches I like a lot. There's one thing I think Bud likes GMT Masters a lot himself. It's a nice one. Okay, speaking of GMT Masters, here are two more. Now, they're both a couple Batman bezels on this particular watch, but this is not one watch, it's two. One has the standard bracelet on, the other one has a Jubilee bracelet, which I think is a very cool bracelet to have on with a Rolex. One of the things I do like about Rolexes, I think that they all come, with the exception of maybe some of the Cellinis, they that have will have a gator band or a leather band or something. They all come with the metal bracelet for a watch that is you can wear in a lot of different temperatures. I think that's not a bad idea. Okay, on the other end here, we got a Patek Philippe 5167 Aquanaut. Now, I know Aquanauts are very hard to get, and I got a feeling that Bud had to wait a while to get this one, or he knows somebody. he's got a good in with his AD who has it. So, I think that this particular collection, if you like Rolexes, you might as well get Rolexes, and Bud certainly has done that. And in terms of recommending any kind of Rolex, I would certainly recommend one I happen to like, and I didn't see in the collection, and that is the Yacht Master 2. And the reason for that is the Yacht Master 2 has that special countdown backward dial on, which is, and it has a unique movement. And but I tell you, this is, I don't know which way Bud wants to go with this. He could move more toward high horology, toward the Patek Philippe, and sort of going in that direction, looking at more dress watches, perhaps a Vacheron Constantin, Patrimony. He's got enough sports watches, unless he likes sports watches, and in that case, you might want to consider a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, or even over offshore. But right now, and from the looks of it, there's a very Bud's collection is what I'd call a very practical one. Just about any one of those watches, you could put those in most places, and they keep good time, and they're not exactly delicate. Okay, I got my FP Journe Chronomat Souverain. It's probably a little more delicate. I don't know. I probably should treat it as such, but I like to wear them and use them a lot. Anyhow, well, listen. I really like to hear what you think about this collection. For a Rolex collection, I think it's extremely interesting. I I know that there's here you have a Breitling, what I call a good Breitling. There's some that with the mystery movements I don't care for, but the one that Bud's got looks pretty cool, especially if it's a one of the Bentley Premier chronometers. They're chronometers and they're chronographs, so there's sort of a double one there. But it's like there's so many of that kind of watch. I'm not quite sure what other kinds of things. Bud knows what he's doing, obviously, but just some ideas. Taking a look at some of the some of the independent brands. Those are always fun to look at. Something like a Beauvais. I like Beauvais, and this is totally different than anything in his collection. Something or handmade, perhaps something like Harboring 2. It's more of a dressy kind of thing. It's a dressy and good office watch too, but there are a lot of those already in the collection. Well, listen, Bud, I want to thank you. Bud went and took all of these pictures for me, and I appreciate that. And of course, I'd like to hear what you have to think about Bud's collection and any suggestions you may have. Now, uh, next week is Friday. For those of you who are in the anywhere near New York, if you can make it to the what's it called, the Watch Time show in New York it's on the October 24th and 25th. Everything on the 24th is sold out, but during the day on the 25th might be something you'd like to see if you're in the area. And we're always looking for new watch collections to review. So if you've got one you'd like reviewed, go ahead and sit in. We have a video on what to do and where to send it and everything. Till next time, this is Bill Sanders, Watch Outside, the art and science of watch collection.